Hello young explorers, our today's topic is physical and chemical changes. So when we talk about chemical changes, there are two types. When you look around you, so many things are happening, and to bifurcate these changes, we say this is physical change or that is chemical change. So what are physical changes? Physical changes is just a change in state. For example, no chemical change or chemical properties are changing. Like ice cube melts and forms a liquid water. It remains water. So chemically both are H2O. It may be a solid ice or liquid or vapor, water vapor. Chemically all are H2O. But physical changes means they have a different state of matter and different temperature. So in physical changes, some properties are changing, but chemical properties remains the same. And these changes are reversible. Means water you can again turn to ice, or water vapor if you condense can be turned to water. Or if you dissolve a sugar in water, sugar is not visible now, it becomes in sugar solution. But with the vaporization or evaporation, we can again get back the sugar crystals. So this is reversible reaction. So physical changes are happening all the time and they are reversible. But chemical changes, they are permanent. Like physical changes are temporary, but chemical changes are permanent and they are irreversible. For example, you take sugar and instead of pouring that sugar into water solution, if you burn the sugar, what will happen? It's a chemical reaction. So what you get, a black remaining carbon in the vessel, at the bottom of the vessel. So all water will be evaporated from it. So basically the formula of sugar is, or glucose is, C6H12O6. So carbon is there, hydrogen is there and oxygen is there. So out of that, hydrogen and oxygen will go in the form of water and carbon will remain. So in that carbon, if you put water again, it will not form sugar. So this is a chemical reaction. So in chemical reaction, basically remember always chemical reactions are permanent. Like the ripening of a fruit. So if any chemical reaction happens which is irreversible, you cannot get back to its original state. That is chemical reaction, and chemical reactions are happening all the time in everywhere, in our body itself. Thousands of chemical reactions are happening at any given time. Digestion of food, for example. So whatever you eat, your body starts digestion. So that digestion, breaking down to the molecular level, the food you eat, is a chemical reaction. Energy is released. So in chemical reactions, energy either heat will be released or heat will be absorbed, or some gas will be formed, or precipitate will be formed. Something will happen. So in chemical reactions, more than one reactants are taking part. And after chemical reaction, you get products. So either that product will be 1 or 2 or 3. And it may be a solid form, it may be a gaseous form, color will change, temperature will change. So there are different types of chemical reactions. Like single displacement, double displacement, combination reaction, reduction reaction. So heats of reactions, we will see all these reactions by performing them live here. So to remember, just remember this thing, that physical changes are temporary, chemical changes are permanent. Physical changes are reversible, chemical changes are irreversible. And we will see some experiments here to see if basically we are not taking any experiments for physical changes, because physical changes are very simple examples, even you can try with some things, but chemical changes we will see right now. So this is our first reaction. We will see heats of reaction. In heats of reaction there are two reactions, exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means in which reaction heat is given out as a product, and endothermic reaction means when heat is absorbed from the surrounding, that is called as an endothermic reaction. For this reaction we have two chemicals here. The first is calcium chloride and second chemical is ammonium chloride. We have two test tubes. You can put these such test tubes in any container, say a glass vessel or a cup. So first of all, what you need to do is you have to fill up the test tubes up to half with water. And just touch them to feel the temperature, because this temperature is of water, room temperature. Just feel the temperature of the solution. Don't hold it for long, because then you might feel some different temperature. So just hold it for a short time and feel the temperature of water. Now open these two things. So first of all we will put ammonium chloride. So I am just keeping this test tube aside and open the ammonium chloride and put a pinch of ammonium chloride into the solution. Let reaction happens and just touch it. When you touch it, this reaction is happening. Just feel the temperature, feel the difference. Here you will feel this test tube cooler than before. For that you can have this normal water here, just touch here and touch here. You will feel this ammonium chloride cooler, because when this reaction is happening with water, so NH4Cl plus H2O absorb the heat to give out NH4 plus and Cl minus ions. So these ions are dissociated in water and they absorb the heat from the surrounding, and so this becomes cooler. Similarly, we will see another reaction which is an exothermic reaction, in which product will give out heat. So for that we need to put calcium chloride into the solution and add this calcium chloride in solution. Immediately you will see reaction is happening. Just shake the test tube and touch it. You will feel a little bit warmer than before, because in this reaction with calcium chloride heat is given out. So this becomes a little bit warmer than before. So these are two types of reaction, exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Remember, when the energy of a product is lower than the energy of reactants, heat energy is generated. Such reactions is called as exothermic reaction. And when the energy of the product is higher than energy of reactants, heat is absorbed from the surrounding. Such reaction is called as endothermic reaction. Wash your hands after performing this reaction. Now we will perform second reaction. Our second reaction is combination reaction. When two or more substances, it may be elements or compounds, combine to form a single product, then the reaction is called as combination reaction. So here we are taking calcium oxide and water we will add calcium oxide and water together. So remember here reactants are 2, but we will get a product that is calcium hydroxide. So first of all we will see the reaction and then its chemical equation. So I am adding calcium oxide is CaO. Take this powder of calcium oxide, and then we have to add water to it. Shake it. You may use this lead as well to shake it. You may add some more water to it. So here calcium oxide CaO plus H2O gives out CaOH twice, that is calcium hydroxide. Basically it is called as a Schleck line. We will keep this solution untouched for some time and you will see the difference. You will find a clear water that we called as a lime water, the upper layer, and the heavy particles will settle down at the bottom of this vial, plastic vial, and the clear water which is called as a lime water, we will take this lime water into another vial and we will perform one more reaction. So remember, up to this there is a combination reaction. I repeat, in combination reaction 2 or more reactants come together to form a single product. So let us wait for some time. We will get a clear water here. I am showing you, but let it be more transparent. So you have to keep it for 5 minutes at least, so that all the particles will settle down and you will get a clear lime water. You can transfer that lime water from one vial to another vial. If you have a dropper, you can take drop by drop and add into it, or you can use a decantation method. Slowly, without disturbing the bottom, you can transfer the clear lime water into another vial. Now gently transfer the clear lime water solution without disturbing into another vial. Take a little bit of solution. You will see this solution as a transparent solution. Now we will add or exhale air or blow air into it. Just put this straw inside it and you have to blow air into it. So what you are blowing means you are blowing carbon dioxide. So let us see what happens. You will see this, once blowing, this solution has turned to whitish again. What reaction happened here is a calcium hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide gas to form calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3. So CaOH twice aqueous solution plus CO2 gives out CaCO3 calcium carbonate plus H2O. Such type of reactions are called as double displacement reactions. So this is also called as, this reaction is also known as lime water experiment. Now our next reaction is single displacement reaction. In this we have copper sulfate solution, iron nail. If you see the iron nail rusted, you can polish it with any or rub it with any sandpaper or any rough surface you have around you. Then clean vial and a pin. So first of all, we will open this copper sulfate solution using a pin. Then see this, your nail is clean and clear. So add this here, and we need to add a copper sulfate solution here, and make sure that nail is dipped fully inside the solution. Now reaction has started between copper sulfate and iron nail. Let this reaction happens for a few minutes. Because this reaction is a little bit slow reaction, what you have to observe is the reaction between iron metal and copper sulfate will produce iron sulfate and copper metal. As reaction proceeds, blue color of copper sulfate solution will become a pale green due to formation of ferrous sulfate, and a coat of copper metal will be formed on the iron nail. So for the longer time you keep this iron nail in copper sulfate solution, the more green color will be formed in the solution, that is ferrous sulfate. So keep this for longer time as much you can and notice the difference. Such type of reactions are called as single displacement reaction. We will see one more example of single displacement reaction in which a reactive metal reacts with another reactant to form more products. So here we are taking magnesium metal, it will react with the hydrochloric acid. So first of all, we will cut this magnesium ribbon into smaller pieces using any scissor. Cut it into small pieces. Then we will add these pieces into the vial. After this, just use this pin to prick the hydrochloric acid. Remember, in this reaction, I repeat, the reaction is like this. Mg means magnesium solid plus 2HCl gives out MgCl2, that is magnesium chloride, plus H2 gas. So this H2 gas, you will see bubbles coming out of this reaction as soon as you add this hydrochloric acid to magnesium. But the hydrogen gas which is coming out, how we will prove that is a hydrogen gas? If we will do one more experiment for that. So just keep this ready. I have pricked it and I will use it as it is, and keep a matchbox ready with you. So if hydrogen is produced, we will see a small pop-up sound. Just add, see the hydrogen gas is produced. I am just closing it and let's open it. Oh, the gas went, but still we will check. Now all the gas went, but you have seen the hydrogen gas came out of this reaction. Now we will add a hydrochloric acid, but as we saw, the gas went very fastly, so we will keep this burning matchstick ready. So I am holding it in my left hand. So as soon as you add hydrochloric acid into it, hydrogen gas will come out, and just hold this. So this is the pop-up sound because of hydrogen gas. Let us see that gas is coming out again. We will hold this. So this is going out. So hydrogen is an explosive gas. Do this experiment under adult supervision. So this is type of single displacement reaction. Now this is double displacement reaction. We require sodium carbonate, calcium chloride, 2 empty vials and a test tube. So this reaction, what we are doing is called as a double displacement reaction. First of all, we will make solutions of calcium carbonate and sodium carbonate and calcium chloride. So take this powder in vial. We will add water to it. Then also take calcium chloride in another vial. This is hygroscopic, means if you keep it open, it will absorb water from the surrounding and will become liquid weight. So always remember to keep it tight. This specifically calcium chloride solution. Then we will add water to both and let it dissolve completely. Remember, we are doing double displacement reaction. So if you have to see the chemical composition or chemical equation, it is CaCl2 plus Na2CO3 will give out 2NaCl plus CaCO3 calcium carbonate, which we will see as a white precipitate in this test tube. So add this solution and we will add this solution to it. Now you will see immediately this white precipitate in the test tube. So that white precipitate calcium carbonate. The whatever liquid is inside is a solution of sodium chloride. Next reaction is crystallization reaction. We are making crystals of alum. So take water in the container. Now alum we are adding in water. So water is a solvent and alum is a solute. So we have to make a saturated solution of alum. So add crystals of alum. We will use this straw as a stirrer. So stir it until the crystal dissolves completely. Remember, we have to make saturated solution of alum. So once alum is dissolved in the solution, you will add few more crystals of alum. Again you will stir it until the alum is not dissolving anymore in the solution. In that case, we will call it as a saturated solution of alum. So once our saturated solution is done, we will add that solution into the watch glass and we will keep this watch glass in sunlight for evaporation of the water, and whatever left behind is a crystals of alum. You can do this for sugar and salt as well. So whatever salt crystals you will find in a saturated solution will be different than your table salt, because if you see the even if you see the sugar crystals, those sugar crystals are in a small cubical size. But when you do the same experiment, you will find those crystals in a different shape. So the saturated sugar solution will give you different sugar crystals. So this solution is ready. You may add some more alum crystals to make it more saturated. Wait until all crystals are dissolved and then make sure this is saturated solution. So we will add this saturated solution in the watch glass, and we will keep this watch glass in sunlight. Water will evaporate and we will get crystals of alum. Remember, this reaction is physical change. It is not a chemical reaction, because we are getting those alum crystals back which are dissolved in water. So this is a reversible reaction, temporary reaction. So this is a physical change. So keep this in sunlight and find out the alum crystals, how beautiful they look. So the water we see around us is H2O, hydrogen and oxygen. All we know, hydrogen is an explosive gas and oxygen helps in burning. If you note, water is not explosive, neither it helps in burning. Rather, water is used to blow out the fire. So when hydrogen and oxygen comes together, it is a chemical reaction, and hydrogen and oxygen lose their properties when they form a chemical bond. So to see that bond, see this red is oxygen and this white balls are hydrogen. So they form a bond like this, H2O. So these two whites are hydrogen and they form bond with oxygen, and this is a water molecule, looks like. The red one is oxygen and these two are hydrogen. So this is H2O molecule.